So let's look. Okay, so this project is in your course pack. You'll notice I don't put a link to it there. No, no, no. It's not a Google document. It is in your course pack. It starts on page 532, and you are expected to work in it in your course pack. Clear? All right. Type in the chat if you've got a question. Okay, so I'm going to give you some hints right now. Pay close attention. This project's worth a lot of points, and it's supposed to be you proving you really understand chapter 9. So let's put it together. Okay, first off, you are going to, now you already have your candy counted and you have the data in graph swing. So you've got your data and graphs. So you go to your M&M data and you look for which one had the lowest count. And if there's more than one, just pick one. If there's a tie, whatever. Okay, then like, let me just give you an example. So for example, let's pretend, I don't know, orange. Orange was your lowest count, just pretend, right? So then you'd write orange, or you'd write green, or you'd write brown, right? You write whatever color was your lowest color. Then this would be the number of orange ones. This is your number of successes. We are counting orange as success, or green or blue, right? We're all different colors, right? So that'll be your success. And then N is the number in your whole bag. So notice what this means. This means your bag was a sample. And it was, right? So note, right, your bag is the sample. Now, from there, once you know what your numbers are, you got to put them in here. I don't know what they are. Put your numbers in, equals blah, 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 equals blah, blah, blah. Then you use those two numbers to find your p hat. And you should know what the formula for p hat is. If not, it's on your flow chart. If not, it's in your yellow pocket. It's in there, right? It's in chapter 8 as well, 8.2. So find it, right? But you should be able to find p hat. Everybody clear? Good. All right. If not, type. All right. So here's where it's different. And I'm going to do this one time and one time only. So everybody pay close attention, because you are going to have to do this again and again for the chapter 9 project, the chapter 10 project, and the chapter 11 project. And they all work off that candy that you counted. Okay, so first off, we are going to have to verify requirements for constructing a confidence interval for proportion. I even write the word proportion in there. So this is obviously proportion stuff. Not means. All right, so when it says verify requirements, what are you thinking? What words go in your head? Random. Independent. And normal. Now, these are all going to be a little different than what we've done, especially the first one. Through every single worksheet, every single everything, it's always been yes, given, right? Because it was given. It was written in the problem. Like I would say random somewhere. I didn't say it anywhere here. Now, was your bag of candy random? Oh yeah, hell yeah it was, right? But you have to explain it. Why do you have a random bag of candy? Why when I say, was your bag of candy random, do I go, hell yes? Why? Right? What makes it random? Right? Explain. Okay, it's up to you, right, to explain why. Make it just a little brief sentence, nothing major. But of course your bag of candy was random. There's no Willy Wonka sitting in the bushes going, oh, I'm going to give Kariana nothing but red ones. Like, that's not how this works, right? So, although that would be fun, Kariana. You'd be in a very interesting Wonka movie if that was the case. But everybody following? So don't say given. If you write given, you lose points. No points. There's no point for saying given. You can say given all the rest of the course, all the worksheets, it's fine, but not here because it was not given, right? Your bag of candy was random because why? All right, next, independent. Now, it happens in our life in this course a lot of the time that we don't know capital N. Now, here's what we do know. Everybody hear me now. You wrote right up here, little n. Use it. That's your little n. Put it right down here. Okay? 0.05, capital N, we don't know. And that happens a lot. We've already run into this several times. You start with the word all and you keep going, right? That's what you're going to do. Now, as for normal, to be normal for proportions, confidence interval proportions, needs NPQ to be greater than 10. Okay, so we need N times P hat. Oh, if only I had already found N and P hat right up here, times Q hat, which you can find. So you're going to get three numbers. You're going to multiply them. And then you're going to get a number. And here's the kick. For some of you, it is going to be bigger than 10. And you're going to go, yay. And for some of you, it's going to be less than 10. And you're going to say, no. And that's okay. Just say if it's bigger than 10 or not. If it doesn't come out bigger than 10, which it won't for about half of the people, then say, nope, it was not. It's because of the size of your bag and the proportion of your color, right? It's N and P hat determine this. So some of you just didn't buy a big enough bag or whatever. So be it. Okay, everybody understand? So don't freak out if it's a no. It's totally fine. But if it's no, say it's no. Don't say yes if it's not bigger than 10. Everybody understand? Nobody's going to write given because it's not given. You're all going to write this by hand because it's in your course pack. And you're all going to say the words all, and you're going to write what it is. Okay. Now, you might think I'm crazy, but I promise you, I'm telling you all of this so that you get the question right and you get all the points. Right? So if you don't, it's because you didn't watch, because I'm telling you what to write, basically. All right, next, down here, you have to pick a random confidence level. So everybody's got their own data, but everybody also has their own confidences. Oh, sneaky. So I have it in here in this Chapter 9 project. So it says right here, random confidence level file available here. So if I click here, it's going to take me to the StatCrunch file that has all these confidence levels. There's a whole bunch of them in there. So what you have to do is follow the instructions. The instructions say, use data, sample, choose confidence levels column, and a sample size of 1, and then click compute. Ta-da. Okay, so going back, data, sample, click confidence levels, sample size 1, and say compute. And there you have it. It doesn't show up here, by the way. It's not in the box. That's one thing that confuses people. It's back here. It's in the spreadsheet itself. I don't know why they did that way, but that's what they did. So it's here. It's 96 for me. You see it? Okay. So everybody's got to get their own. Don't write 96. Write what you get. So everybody, I'm just going to write my little example here. I got 96%. Boom. Done. So everybody gets their own, and that's how that works. Okay. Next. We're all good. Now we're actually going to construct the confidence interval, right? Constructing confidence interval using that confidence you just came up with. So constructing the confidence interval, it says formula substitution. Remember, this is the formula. We don't usually write the one on the left. We write the one on the right, right? So there's the formula, and then you're going to substitute, blah, blah, blah. So formula, and then you're going to do a substitution. You're going to get all the numbers, substitution. and then you're going to get a result. And for our confidence interval, I was just talking to the face-to-face class yesterday about this. Confidence intervals are always lower number, comma, upper number. That is your result. That's what you're looking for. A confidence interval is the window that you think that will capture the true value. In this case, the true proportion of whatever color. In my case, the true proportion of, what was it, my color? Orange. The true proportion of orange ones, orange M&Ms. Okay, so you're going to do that. That's on page 237. It's also on page 189, which is your flow chart, right? Okay. Then down here, this is a little weird because Willy Wonka is giving you all kinds of crap, and he thinks that your color is less than 1/6 of the bag. I will tell you that 1/6 is a fraction, and you're going to get decimals here. So it's a little hard to compare decimals to a fraction. So what you want to do is make that a decimal, like figure out what 1/6 is as a decimal, so you can actually lower and upper. So do that. And then you'll know, like, we've run into this many times, like, does it support because the whole interval is where he's saying, or is it, not support because blah. And then down here, your flowcharts help, right? Because this is the whole narrower, wider thing. So hopefully at the end of your flowchart for chapter 9, you took very careful notes, right? Because you're trying to figure out, what are they doing? What's that messing with? Is that making my interval narrower or wider because of this direct relationship or an inverse relationship? It's all right here in the relationships piece. Narrower, wider is a sign you should be on your confidence interval flowchart. Confidence interval is the narrower, wider thing. So you're looking here to this relationships, narrower, wider thing at the bottom of your flowchart. So I'm just going to say page 189 at the bottom, because that's your confidence interval flowchart for that one. And remember, this is not due Monday. You have time. It's a larger assignment, so it's like 5 pages unto itself. So you got time to work on it and fiddle with it. But you can get it done by Monday if you want. You don't have a lot of notes over the weekend, so it's up to you. All right, so that's that one. Okay, now, look. Part 1, the first 2 pages. Part 1 is a confidence interval with M&Ms. So you did this thing, you verified requirements, and then you did this formula substitution thing. Blah, blah, blah. Part 2 is doing it all again, but with Skittles. It's the same stuff, but you're going to do Skittles and you're going to do the highest color. So, I don't know, purple, and then you kind of go from there, right? So you're going to do it all again, verify requirements again. No given. It's not given. It's the same instructions I gave you on the other one. Right? Some of you are going to be yes. Some of you are going to be no. Don't forget your capital N involves the word all, right? It's the same stuff, just repeated, but for Skittles instead of M&Ms. Okay, so that part's all the same, more or less. Then down here, you need a new and different confidence level. So you got to go back to StatCrunch and you got to run it again. By the way, if this box is still up, you can actually go Options, Edit, and just compute again, and it'll give you another one. Or you can do the instructions again, right? Data, sample, pick confidence levels, say 1, boom, right? So there you go. You're going to need 3 altogether. If you want, you could just do 3 from the start, and then you got them all. They got to be different, though. If one of them comes up the same, do it again, because they got to be 3 different numbers. So my second one is 71. So here in my sheet, I would say 71% is my example, right? So I'd be like, oh, there it is, right? Okay, everybody good? And now, let's see here. Again, run the test, or do the confidence interval, right? Formula, substitution, result. It's the same work. It's the same stuff. Willy Wonka is giving you crap. This time he's doing the more than 20%. That's easy because that's already kind of, it's percent, but percents are not hard. And then down here, okay, so I would state my 2 confidence levels. My confidence level for number 3 was 96%, and my confidence level for number 9 was 71%. And then it's asking me, which one's going to be the narrower wider thing. Again, that's page 189 at the bottom. The whole narrower wider thing was in the flow chart. There we go. All right. And again, you can go back and watch this recording if you need hints as well. So, but those two parts are all, if you have the first part done really good, you can use it to help you with the second part because it's really similar. This is something else. This part 3, the last page, is sample size. Okay. Sample size is the other flowchart. That's page 190. First thing I need is a third confidence level, which actually I already found because I did 3 of them. So it's 89 for me. So I go back here and I'd be like 89%. But it's going to be different for all of you. Got to have all 3 of them be different numbers. And then calculate the size. This is sample size. This is page 190 for your formula, right? Sample size. Right? It's these ones. Now, the first one, blah, 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 says no prior estimate. Oh, interesting. Oh, Aaron, FYI, I changed this a little bit. So you definitely want to grab this. It's similar to what you had, but not the same. So this one's the no prior estimate. Then suppose you had an error of 1%. So that's page 190 again, right? That's the relationships piece. So if you look in relationships on page 190, what do I mean by that? I mean, if you look at your sample size flow chart, there's these relationships. So that's what it's talking about, right? So look through the relationships, figure out what we're manipulating and what would that do to the sample size? How would that affect N, right? Is your error going up? Is your confidence level going down? Like what's happening, right? And that'll see what happens. And then this one says, suppose, okay, this is the new part, Aaron. You're going to calculate the minimum bag size again, but this time you're going to use your p hat as a prior estimate. The p hat from number 1. Okay, so go back to number 1, the first page, your p hat right here, right? Because you'll have your X and your N and you'll make your p hat and you'll have a percentage right there that you want 3 decimal places for, 3 decimal places, right? So use that p hat and those 3 decimal places and use it here for number 16. Okay. And then as for the last bits, let's see, mine were 96%, 71%, and 89%. And then it's asking me which ones would have the largest sample size and which one's the smallest. Again, that's page 190. That's the relationships piece. So look through that and it'll tell you which ones to go.